Good morning, YouTube. Matthew back here with you today. I had a huge mail day come in yesterday. My mail lady was dragging her mailbag through the snow yesterday. She didn't get here till about 6 p.m. last night, and it was dark. And her truck pulled up at the sidewalk, and she got out trying to. And I had not cleared off the sidewalk because it was like less than at that point in time, I think it was 1 degree or something like that, but it was less than 10 degrees all day yesterday, pretty much. Right now, it is currently -1 degrees outside. When I woke up this morning, actually a couple of hours ago, it was -9. We didn't quite set the record all time, I don't think, like they were calling for, but it was bad. At any rate, I got a ton of mail yesterday, and I thought I would do a video and share it with you. I had one through the mail request come back. I had a group pickup. I had a couple of uh, pickups for the 88 top set. Um, Picked up a couple of Wade Boggs autographs, and also PSA. One PSA card came in, and two SGC cards came in that I had recently picked up. So I'll start out with the smallest first and work my way through. The first one I'll do is the through the mail request return from Mr. Charlie Huff. I sent this out right before Christmas. It came back today, and he signed. I sent him 4 cards. He signed this one, 1982 Donruss. Um, I've wrote to him many times over the years. And anymore, if I write to, I've got to where I try, and except for working on this 88 Tops project, I've got to where I try to only send older cards and write to players. In other words, I really mainly focus. This is 84 Tops. I mainly focus on writing to players who, I grew up watching. Um, this right here was a little bit of an oddball. This is from the Fleer Baseball All Stars 1987 little box set. I think about 44 cards. Anyway, um, I came across this card actually sometime back. Picked it up out of a box. I think of cards that uh, I can't even. I'll tell you the truth. There's a little card shop in a town next town over from us, and I can't remember the name of it right now. And that's an old man moment, I call it, because I'm getting to that point in life where I have trouble remembering it. The guy, Scott, that runs it. Now I know, I can remember the guy that runs it, but anyway, he puts a lot of cards out, just stuff, random stuff, and that he basically where he buys collections and whatnot, and everything he lays out that he's gone through, that he pretty much, he'll just put out there like in boxes of commons. Like sometimes you can go through, like I'll go through some of his stuff sometimes when I go in there, and I'm just basically hanging around, and me and him's talking baseball or talking baseball cards, and I'll pick up a couple of handfuls of cards and go through, and I came across this in the box, and I was like, I said, how much you want for this? This would be a cool card to get signed by Charlie Huff in the mail. And he was like, I'll you know, those cards. What he does, he sells them like commons, and even older commons. If he's got it sitting over on this side where he's got a bunch of fold out tables inside of his card shop, he's like, anything in those boxes, you can have 20 for $1, so a nickel a piece. But also that's where this card come from. This is from 80, I think it's 80. Yeah, 87 Fleer sticker set, which was a pretty cool set when I was a kid. To me, I thought it was a pretty cool set, but kind of oddball. You don't see these as much as you do. Just like these, they're out there. They're out there because they were mass produced as well, but not mass produced to the level of the regular, 87 Fleer set. So you don't see them as much. But anyway, two kind of oddball cards. Kind of, tickled to get those back signed. I would Pete, like I said, I've sent to him a lot in the past. I mean, many times over the years. So uh, I kind of, when I'm, I don't like to buy at this point in my life. I don't really look to buy large boxes full of commons mixed with stars and go through anymore. I'd rather just buy what I want, even if it costs, there's that old saying when I was younger, I was like, well, if I could get the whole collection, I'd go through what I want, whatever. Now as I'm getting older, I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just, this is what I want. I don't really want that, and I don't want to have to deal with having to get rid of that. So I'll either buy this from you, even if I end up having to pay just a little bit more to get what I want. You keep what I don't want, because I'm getting too old to want to fool with having to get rid of it. Three pickups for the 88 Tops project, all of which help a lot. All three are signed in blue Sharpie. Craig Lefferts, or Lefferts is how I pronounced it all my life, but I don't know. It might be, I can't remember. And I should. I saw this guy pitch many a time on TV. He had a long career. Came up with the Chicago Cubs, pitched for the San Francisco Giants. I had somebody tell me the other day that I should do videos and they said I should take one player um, per video. Just pick a player and do short videos and talk about that player, show cards of the player, and just because they said I was so full of baseball knowledge, players from the 70s, 80s, 90s, that I should take and just do, take a player at random, do a little video, kind of like a little history, almost like a little history or documentary type about them. And I was like, well, I'll think about it. But anyway, Lefferts was a really good relief pitcher. He was never really used as a full-time closer, and I'm sorry about that glare, the light in the room, but he was never really used as a full-time closer. I mean, he was more used as a lefty, but the funny thing is, this was not, for you younger people, when I say lefty specialist, no, I'm not talking about a loogie, a guy that only can get out left-handed hitters. This guy actually, I mean, he was brought in to face the toughest left-handed hitters, sure, but he could also pitch to he could get out right-handers as well. This guy pitched way more innings than, like, for example, in 1986, he appeared in 83 games for the San Diego Padres. He threw 107 and two-thirds innings. So a loogie that a lot of people think about from the late 90s on into the early 2000s was a left-handed pitcher that might have appeared in 70 games and only threw 50 innings pitched for the season because they only come in to get one guy out. Well, LaFerse was a lot better than that. A lot better. He stuck around a long time, and I'm happy to get that. He's not the easiest person in the world to get by mail. Tito Landrum, another guy, not the easiest in the world to get by mail, but it's kind of hard to see that in this light. But anyway, signed in blue Sharpie. All of these were, I can't remember exactly. This one was $5. I think the LaFerts was $3, and the Landrum was $5 as well. I know Pete Incaviglia was $5. Not the best. Incaviglia, there's every example of his autograph I've ever seen. He's just he's one of those guys that you can tell he doesn't want to sign autographs, but he will. But it's just a real quick squiggle, and which is typical nowadays for modern players. This guy was doing it back in the 80s. So, but anyway, those are the three pickups for the 88 Top set, Tops project. I did not get out a card to adjust a total. I'll update that in the next video that I'm sharing anything that comes in for that. But anyway, these two cards are pretty interesting. A guy had wrote to Wade Boggs. Boggs, he had sent Boggs, I think. Boggs, I think, has went up to $20. Sadly, he's battling cancer, and I think he has began charging $20 to sign a card now. Which, honestly, there's a lot of Hall of Famers out there that have long been charging at least $20 or more. Boggs for years, like Ryan Sandberg, charged $10. But anyway, this guy had wrote to him and sent him $20 and sent him two cards. Boggs signed both cards, but they apparently got damaged a little bit. He felt like in the mail, and from what he was saying, he wasn't happy about was he said he didn't want to send these in to get authenticated because, and I could see in the pictures he sent me this card here at the top. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's got just a little bit of a dent right there at the top corner. Well, I guess what he was wanting was to try to send some cards in and not only send them to PSA to get authenticated, but graded, the autograph graded, and he did not want dented card or whatever. Which honestly, if you're getting the autograph graded, that's not going to affect the grade on the autograph. When you send in an autograph card and you tell them you want them to grade the autograph, they're not going to grade the card. I mean, they're not grading the card. Now there was I don't know if they still do, because I haven't been as concerned about it, but I mean doing it, but I know SGC did do that at one time where they would grade the auto. I got one here. I'll show you as an example in a minute. They would grade the auto and they would grade the card as well. I think PSA did that as well, does that as well now, but I'm not positive if they don't hold me to that. I don't know for sure if they still do. I know SGC has quit grading. They went not. They quit authenticating any autograph. So, but anyway, this one as well. He said had, and I other than you can tell on the corners a little bit of wear. I can't find any damage on this card. This was a post serial Wade Boggs, and I can't find any damage on this card other than the corners on the bottom and maybe on this side that show some wear. That to me looks like though regular wear where someone picked a card that had been handled to send to Boggs to sign. You don't notice it on the front of the card as much because the corners are white. But this one, the only thing that he sent me a picture of. Now, yeah, look at the bottom. The corners on that card are dinged as well. You can see the white. But even the top of the corners, to me, that is not mail. That damage would have not been done by a mail carrier. That right there was somebody took, to me, in my opinion, the guy probably sent a card that already had worn corners to get signed. And yes, when you put a couple of cards in an envelope and send them by mail to get autographed by a player, sometimes even if you put them in a card saver, the corners can get dinged. There's no bad creases in the cards, but at any rate, he said he wasn't happy. He wasn't pleased. He also said he did not like where Boggs signed this because he said he signed it on his face. Well, he did a little bit. You know what? There's a lot of players that sign autographs right across their face. This one right here is not as bad. I mean, he did sign, but the picture, the card itself, his face is way up here. But this is a 90 score, and I can't remember what year this is. Let's see, this is 1990 post serial. I remember these in boxes of cereal. I do remember that. You got they were in a little plastic baggie, and you bought a box of cereal. You couldn't wait. I remember my mom would say, "Why don't you wait till you get to it? Uh, you know, Eat a bowl of cereal every morning and wait till you get to it." I had to go home. I had to get the mama to get the biggest bowl out of the cabinet, dump the whole box of cereal in the bowl so I could get the card. But that was me back, then. I'm sure there's a lot of other kids that did the same thing. But anyway, the guy that had got these was had posted in a Facebook group. He was very unhappy with them, and he was from North Carolina, actually from Greensboro, North Carolina, and that's not far from where I grew up. Not very far at all. But anyway, that was a he had posted that if anybody wanted these, that they could have them for. He just wanted to get his money back that he sent Boggs to sign them. So I seen that and I messaged him. It was like maybe 10 minutes after he had made the post in the group. And I was like, "How much did you send Boggs?" I was like, "I would be interested. How much did you send Boggs?" And he was like, "I sent him," because I didn't know. Because, like I said, Boggs, I've read that recently he has started charging $20 to sign a card. He said he had sent Boggs $20 to sign, and Boggs signed both cards. And I said, "Well, I'll give you that PayPal." And so I sent him $20 PayPal, and now he sent me the cards. So I'm thrilled with that. And then we got. Oh, let me do this one first. This was a group pickup as well. This right here is going to be for the 88 Tops project. Dave Magadan signed on an index card. $2. $2. And why did I want Dave Magadan on an index card? Well, Magadan's a common player, but I've only seen 3 or 4 examples of Magadan's 88 Tops card that I need for the 88 Tops project signed since I started the project. Every one of them have been way overpriced because the guy doesn't really sign by mail. The cheapest one I seen was an ink pen, and it was very faded. And I just decided when I seen this for $2, that I would pick it up because of the fact I'm not going to pay 12 to $15 at this point. No more autographs than cards that I have left that I need for this project. After what I decided to do with the Sammy Stewart, I said, you know what? It's still the autograph. That is definitely his autograph. I've seen enough examples. There's no doubt in my opinion, that's his autograph. I don't know when he signed it. He might have signed it 25 years ago, but that's his autograph. And I'm going to make a signed cut out of this. I'm going to cut this side off where that picture's at of Dave Magadan, and I'm going to cut the name, the plate off. I'm going to cut it to fit into a top load, just like I did the Sammy Stewart one that index card I had got. Make a signed cut. I'll put a backer piece in with it and into a penny sleeve. Put it in the top load. Put it with the card of Dave Magadan in the set, because I've got to the point to finish this set. I'm not going to wait. Why? And I'm going to be honest with you. This is the way I'm looking at it now. It'd be one thing if it was a Hall of Fame player, whatever. But why would I pay somebody just because this guy's tougher to get to sign by mail? Why would I pay $12 to $15 for an autograph of a common player? Plus, if it was on eBay, you got to pay the shipping as well. Why would I do that when I can, for the same amount of money, I can get a graded card off of eBay? That's why, and so to finish out the set, I'm getting creative. Instead of being every card, single card having to be signed on card now, it's just I want to get the autograph of every single player in the set. And also, I've made an exception on some of the guys that are tough to get that are in both sets. For example, I have Dave Henderson, who has passed away now, with the picture with the Giants on his regular card in the '88 top set, but he's also in the traded set with the A's. I don't have that. And so if I don't get that, if I don't come across one at a reasonable price anytime soon, I'm just going to say, well, I do already have his autograph on the '88 regular set for the project. Same thing with Bob Welch. I need both. Bob Welch is in the regular set with the Dodgers, traded set with the A's. I have never seen a copy of the A's card autographed by Bob Welch, and Bob Welch has passed away. Has been for years now. And I talked to some guys in Facebook groups about that have been working on the same set for a long time, and nobody that in the groups that I'm in that it has worked on the '88 top set has ever seen one signed. So I'm not saying they're not out there. There's probably some out there. Welch was a decent signer at one time, but none of the one guys I know that's been doing, autograph collecting for years has ever seen an '88 Topps traded signed by Bob Welch. So what I'll probably do is get something like this of Bob Welch, or if I am able to get just a one with the Dodgers. I have seen many of those. They're usually way overpriced because he's passed away. But if I can get one reasonable, I'll just say, I'll call it. I'll say, all right, well, I've got his real autograph in the regular set, so I don't need it for the traded. But I'm going to finish. You can say, well, that's not really finishing the project. Well, it is to me. As long as I get the player's autograph, that's the main thing. That was my goal, was to get every player autograph a card. Well, this is still a card. It's an index card. I know a little bit cheating, but hey, you got to get creative sometimes to finish these projects, because these sets are so many cards, so hard to. And at this point, even though that was a set from when I was a teenager, the '88 top set, now you got to realize this is a set that's way over 30 years old, and there's a lot of guys in this set that are passed away now. All right, this is the PSA DNA card that I picked up recently, and nothing spectacular here, but it's a nice autograph of Jeff Reardon in blue. I don't know how much it's going to show up in this light, but it's signed on that blue uniform. I was never that big of a Jeff Reardon fan. He had a very long career. He come up with the Mets in the early '80s. He got traded to the Montreal Expos, where he was made their closer. He saved a ton of games. And there was a point that he passed Raleigh Fingers, and at one time, for a short amount of time, held the career saves total, But while Reardon is not really a Hall of Fame player, I would consider him more of a very good player. Reardon, at the same time, I say that, Harold Baines got into the Hall of Fame, and Harold Baines never quite reached 3,000 hits. I think the assumption with the Veterans Committee was this: If Harold Baines had stayed healthy, he would have easily gotten to 3,000 hits. He would have probably even had a chance at possibly getting, because of the amount of time he played in his career, he possibly could have gotten, an extra 50, 60 home runs and padded his stats. But at the same time, I don't know. Baines was a very good player. He only had one season, I think, back in the mid to early 80s that was I would consider a all-star caliber season. Other than that, he was just very good. And Reardon, though he saved a lot of games and though he made some all-star teams, in my opinion, Jeff Reardon, in his years with the Expos, in his years with the Twins, and he was a World Series champion with the Twins in '87. He even played on some. He played for the Red Sox. He pitched in the playoffs for the Braves one year that they traded for him at the deadline. I can't remember if that was '91 or '92, but he finished his career up actually. I think with the Yankees around '93, the year I graduated high school. I think after he had a year with the Reds, and that might be '94. I might have that wrong, but he did finish up. I think he made the team out of spring training one year, pitched horribly, and then hung his cleats up. But I picked this up really cheap, cheaper than the price that if I'd have had this card autographed and I wanted to send it to PSA to authenticate, I would have paid more to authenticate this card than I paid for the card in the slab already. So, I'm thrilled with that. And I mean, that's including shipping. I got this at a bargain. So I'm thrilled with that. The guy just wanted to get rid of it, I guess, is the only thing I can figure. But I'll add that to my collection. Autograph Jeff Reardon. Reardon was a very good relief pitcher. I don't consider him great at all because Reardon, if you look at his career numbers, he was not like a Goose Gossage or a Bruce Sutter. He did not have stretches where he was just totally unhittable with year after year of ERAs in the ones or twos like those guys. This guy's career ERA, nothing. I mean, it was 293, but at this point right here on the back of the card it says 293. But Reardon mixed in years like 86 and 87. His ERA was almost 4 with the Expos. It was over 4 with the Twins in 87. I mean, he was like a guy that, yeah, he saved a lot of games, but he blew a lot of saves as well. And I'm just like, to me, just a very good, not great player. Now, this is the one I was telling you that SGC used to do this, but they quit. Right here's an example. I picked this up dirt cheap, very dirt cheap, honestly, and that's why I got it. There's two reasons I was interested. Savali is no longer with Cleveland. He was traded not this past year, but the season before that. But this is an on-card autograph, and it is serial numbered. It's here on the back. It's numbered number 6 out of 99. I don't know how good that's going to show up, but it's right. It's right there, and it says it on the top of the slab here. But 6 out of 99. And I mean, that means there's only 99 cards like this in existence, if there's still that many out there. It's a very beautiful card, but even if a guy is no longer a Guardian, and this guy was never a star, he was a decent pitcher. Still a decent pitcher. He actually, it's funny, we traded him to Tampa Bay. He pitched horrible for Tampa Bay after he had been pitching great the year we traded him. And then Tampa Bay trades him to Milwaukee this past year in the midseason, and he ends up pitching just as good for Milwaukee as he had for us with an ERA of like 2 something after he got to Milwaukee. So maybe he just didn't like the hot air of Tampa. I don't know. But I was tickled to get this. I got this for $8. Uh, you know, $8. I'll take that. That's just nice card, and it's great. The auto at the top there. If you don't understand how SGC did that, and they don't do this anymore. But this is something SGC used to do. I know PSA. I've seen PSA cards like this. I don't know if PSA still does it, but SGC has quit doing this. But the auto is graded a 10. The card itself is graded a 8.5. But I was tickled to get that for $8. Now this right here costed a little bit more, but this goes into my Indians PC, which the Savali goes into my Indians PC. 1961 Topps Ty Klein. This is SGC with the old green label, but it's definitely, SGC no longer grades autographs, and the thing about that is, even though this has got, the number, if you go to their website now, these cards will not show up in their database, and that scares some people. it's this card right here. Even though it's an on-card autograph, that was a pack pulled autograph. This is like TTM request, so to speak. This was a pack pulled autograph. This card didn't even show up in the database. But I contacted a guy named Brian, works with SGC. I emailed SGC. I got email back from a guy named Brian. And he informed me, and I sent him pictures of these, and he informed me that they 100% stood behind, even though they don't grade them no more, even though that they don't authenticate autograph cards no more, and because that's the reason they no longer show up in their database. But he confirmed to me that this was legit, and that SGC does still stand 100% behind the authenticity of any autograph they graded. I mean, any autograph that they authenticated that is in a SGC slab. That, in other words, if there was any question by anybody, that SGC could be contacted, and they, as long as I don't ever crack the slab and take it out of the slab, they will 100% guarantee its authenticity. And I'm not that worried about that would pass authenticity if it ever needed to be sent to anybody else. But tickled to get that. It wasn't very expensive. I basically paid what it would cost to get it authenticated. In my I mean, yeah, you get, if you're a dealer and you're sending in a massive bulk shipment to get authenticated or graded, you get a cheaper rate. But for the average guy that's just sending 10, 20 cards at a time, I got this very reasonable, very cheap. So, and that, I'm happy if I can get a card for what it would cost me to get graded or get authenticated. I'm thrilled. And I got that one basically for what I feel like it would cost to get graded. For a 1961 Topps that's autographed and authenticated and slabbed. I love SGC slabs. I'll take that all day. And I got this one, like I said, $8. I got this one right here for, a very cheap price. PSA, by the way, always, I mean, Reardon is a guy that sadly, when another 25 years, there'll be people saying, well, who is that? There'll be a lot of younger people that'll be like, well, who in the world was Jeff Reardon? They'll have to Google him just to find out that he was a very good pitcher for a long time. But for me and my personal collection, and the fact that I remember this guy's entire career, this is pretty cool. And to get it for cheap and it's PSA authenticated already in a slab, I'll take it. Anyway, that was a pretty cool mail day. I already know from some notifications on my phone this morning, sometime today my mail carrier is bringing an authenticated Harold Baines for the 88 Tops project, and also I'm supposed to be getting a SGC 9 Jose Ramirez like X Fractor that I had picked up. It's only a graded a 9, but it was beautiful, and I wanted it for the Indians PC. So anyway, very awesome mail day. Had to share it with you all. Thank you all for watching, and my mail carrier that here lately with the bad weather has been coming really late, so it'll probably be tomorrow before I do a video to share what comes in today. But keep your eye out. There'll be a video coming. Thank you again for watching. Be back again soon with more videos.